That is really chill and calming.
You know, like right up until everything fucks up. Welcome to Glitch Please, the new podcast from Rooster Teeth and the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Gus. Oh, we didn't practice what order.
No. Oh God.
I'm Adam.
I'm Ryan.
So we're already fucking it up. Well, great.
Great.
We picked a good name for this then.
Yeah, that's what I wore the shirt for.
So welcome everybody to the show. This is our very first full episode. We've done a pilot run exclusively for Rooster Teeth First members on the website, but now we're finally going public with it. And I want to say thanks as well to the sponsors for this episode, Blue Apron and Movement Watches. We'll talk about them a little bit later. Whew, June is here.
That means E3 is almost here.
E3 is
Summer
almost
has
here.
arrived.
We're gonna
Summer
talk
is
about
coming.
E3 later. On this show, this episode, we're gonna talk about E3. We're gonna talk about Friday the 13th. We're gonna run through a bunch of news. But first,
Ryan
how are
in his
you all?
backwards hat.
Ryan with the backwards hat.
I think it's a reaction to the fact that people are like, oh, that looks good on him. I think really all they're saying is he hasn't gotten a haircut in so long that it's just the less of his head that we see, the better.
We all think that way.
Maybe you
I
should just
agree.
adopt skull caps and or swimming caps as a
Swimming
fashion
caps.
item.
I should go with bandanas.
Right, so this is an old style that I'd be bringing back, but maybe you're right. Maybe I should go a totally new way and just resurrect a style or create a style.
If I could give a suggestion,
Yes.
just cut the brim off of your cap. Then it doesn't matter which direction it's facing.
Can I get a propeller to go on top too?
That way you get into a situation you're not happy with, just fly away.
So what's are we gonna celebrate?
Oh,
here?
yes.
Let's sweating all over the table.
I'm sorry. It is morning. We're recording this early in the morning, so my brain is not fully spooled up yet. But I did get
Open
a
it up,
champagne
Gus.
to
Is this-
celebrate.
The
because
finest,
I'm so happy.
the finest bottle of $10 champagne you could find.
Look, it says it's Chandon, which I'm sure is good.
Wait,
I don't know.
it's
It's
sparkling.
pink.
I take it back.
No,
it's
look,
sparkling wine. not
You know,
champagne.
and this may expose
Champagne.
my ignorance of things alcoholic, but if we splash some orange juice in there, isn't that a morning drink?
Very good, Ryan.
It is. It is. Does anyone have
What is it?
orange
What is it?
juice?
What is it?
A mimosa.
No, God damn it! I'm not asking
It's a
you.
mimosa.
What's wrong with me knowing drinks,
Okay,
man?
and
I was asking Ryan.
Now and
They're
now.
trying to get me.
And now, Ryan,
Yes.
if you put peach in it, what is it called?
Mimosa.
No, it's not.
Peach mimosa.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
I just love that sound.
What is it called?
What is it called?
It's a
It's a Bellini. Come on, Jesus.
Fucking, I don't know
Right.
drinks. I literally don't drink, so I'm gonna have this is my first drink in like forever.
Nice. We're a positive influence
Ditto.
on you guys. So right before the show, Adam, you were saying you've been playing Rhyme.
I played.
Which I have been playing too.
I beat it.
You beat it,
It was a
okay.
one-sitting game for me.
It wasn't for me. I've been playing like an hour here, hour there. It's a very chill game for anyone who
Any
hasn't.
sparkling apple cider for Ryan?
That's all right. I will.
Ooh, toast.
Yeah, it's a really relaxing. Where have you gotten to in that
So
game?
I am. There are, as far as I understand, like it's broken into like 5-ish parts. I am past the windmills.
Past the windmills.
So
Yeah, past the three
Rhyme
levels.
is kind of like a third-person action puzzler, right?
It's hardly a
Kinda-
puzzler. It's more of just like a.
Imagine if you took like a Ueda game, like a Last Guardian or like an Eco or something, and then you mushed it with Journey.
Interesting. I've heard
'Cause
it
it's-
compared not necessarily favorably with The Witness.
Oh, I mean, in that you're on
In
an
the
island,
aesthetic.
okay, and that it's like puzzles on an island. I can see that, but it's the gameplay is more. Thank you, Gus.
So I feel like Rhyme is hardly a puzzle game because any
Okay.
puzzle you encounter is more a that's what I have to do and I'll do it, not a how do I do this. Like it's just like you see what's laid in front of you. Okay, I need to move this part. All right, we're done. It's not like you don't have to figure anything out really.
Well, I think the sort of main story arc seems designed largely in a way that anyone can get through it, and it's not meant to stress you
Right.
out. But there's a lot of cheers, everyone.
Here's to the podcast.
Cheers.
To video
Cheers
games.
to video games, and all the things that go wrong with them.
There we go.
Yeah, it's very much like it doesn't feel guided, but it feels like they're walking you through a story and a narrative by showing you these puzzles, and but it's really calming.
Ryan's a champagne guy.
But it is it's
high
really
class.
it's really calming, but it.
Very calming. So that's where the journey aspect comes in. So it's
Yeah.
just an experience.
The
game.
journey
like-
aspect comes in by finding a journeyman. Like there's a guy.
Journeyman?
He looks like he's from Journey in the game. You chase him down
So
and he
it's
disappears.
got like capes and
Got
stuff.
a red cape.
But for me, it's chilled out, it's meditative. But if you want to search around and explore some more obscure sort of puzzles. There are a whole bunch of collectibles in it.
Yep.
Which I'm missing most of them. I'm gonna have to do another run through because I think I'm doing really, really great, and then I get to a new area and it started to fill in a new sand dollar or whatever. I'm like, oh, that means I missed something back there.
Yep.
So it's like Dark Souls with no fighting.
There's no Dark Souls. Nothing about Dark Souls.
It's just like Dark Souls minus everything about Dark Souls.
Well, I mean, that's where the story of Dark Souls is, right? You fumble around finding shit, and then you read it, and it's like, oh.
There's no reading. This game tells you a story visually.
Yeah, there's no speech,
no
there's no text, no words.
But you meet characters, and there is cutscenes and things like that that will convey the story to you. And it actually is a tearjerker.
Really?
Yes. That is,
in
with
classic
all
UA
nonverbal.
style.
yeah.
Except it's made by
No words.
Tequila Works, so it's actually not a UA
The
game.
reviews are kind of all over the place on this game. I'm looking it up here.
For good reason.
On Steam, it's a 9 out of 10. On GameSpot, gave it a 6. And Metacritic, it's sitting at 78%.
A lot of it. Sorry, you go.
No, it's an okay game. Like, I don't think it's like a game of the year, but like I also don't regret playing it. But it's a 5.5 hour romp. If you want to go back and collect collectibles, you can. I know people are giving a lot of crap for the performance issues on Steam, which I avoided it on Steam for that reason. I bought it on PS4. But I mean, I don't think it's a bad game. It's just not a fantastic one. But it does tell like a pretty. It tells its story well, I think.
Yeah, and we'll get back into some of the reasons that the Rhyme reviews are weird when we get to our news run.
Okay.
Because that's definitely part of it. But overall, fun game. I enjoy it. I was going to wait for it on the Switch. I'm okay that I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I ended up getting it on the Xbox. I avoided PC for the same reason. I heard all the things about the PC port, so I avoided it. Turns out Xbox version, not better.
Really?
Yeah.
In terms of
PS4 was
overall
fine.
performance. And then you've been playing Walking Dead.
Yeah, so I did the thing I talked about.
You're
Back
the
when we
one.
used to do the patch, I complained about Telltale Games, and I said I'm not playing their games anymore until the last episode comes out, and I can just binge through all of it.
Did you binge through all of
And
it?
I forgot A New Frontier was being released, and then I got an email from Telltale on the 30th saying, hey, episode 5 of A New Frontier is out. To celebrate, the whole series is 40% off. It's like, cool.
Woo.
So I bought the game, 40% off, and played it all in 2 days. Played episodes 1 and 2 in
And
one day,
how
and then
was
3,
it?
4, 5. It is starting to suffer. So I loved Walking Dead Season 1 and Season 2. Walking Dead Season 1 is about Lee trying to protect Clementine and, this whole group and that group dynamic. Season 2 is about Clementine's interactions with these new people and trying to figure out, like, kind of growing up and her dynamic amongst them. Season 3, she's barely in it.
Okay.
She is not a main character. She's like a supporting character who shows up every now and then. So it's like, I think that they're trying to pivot to like other stories and maybe not necessarily focus on Clementine, which is fine, but it's like she's just popping up every now and then in weird ways, and it just felt like the whole story was a little disconnected. And it was fine. Like it's probably my least favorite of the Walking Dead games so far, of those 3. But
Still saying potentially a lot though, because those games are so good that
and
you can say even an ordinary, like one that's not as good as those, that's ordinary in comparison,
and it
would
was
still be quite.
It was still good. It just wasn't up to the bar that I expect from those other ones. And it was interesting because I started trying to read other people's reviews to get other people's thoughts on it. And one review in particular I was reading talked about how they thought that one character's death this season was a cop-out and really gimmicky. And I was like, oh, that character didn't die for me.
Ooh.
So I was like,
A pretty significant fork.
right. So then,
Either that or that character doesn't matter at all.
right. So I'm really curious to know like what chain of decisions they came to where that character who was pivotal to me and survived the whole time didn't exist anymore for them.
Weird.
And of course, typical Telltale save bullshit. I had trouble importing my Season 2 save into Season 3. And I understand that like they jumped generations, right? Like I pulled up their website for importing your save data because I played the last one on Xbox 360. They said, oh, in order to do this, go power up your old console.
No.
And I was like, oh shit, I don't know where that Xbox 360 is. So like I had to go
I mean, a lot of people just straight up won't have that.
Right, they might have sold it back or done something to it. So I had to go through my attic. I found it, plugged it in, patched it all up.
Jesus.
And then had to upload my save on my 360 to the Telltale service. And then I had to go to a website and tell it, use this save. And then I could go to my Xbox One, and then it imported all of my stuff. Like, even just uploading it from the 360 didn't allow you to play automatically in the Xbox One. You had to go to a website and say, this is the save data I want to use.
Sheesh.
Man, cross-generational saves in general are just so troublesome.
And they, they did the typical thing where at the end of every episode and at the end of the game, they show you, like, these are the choices you made, these are choices other people made. And they also had, like, the one thing they added is they added the way you shaped a character. So, like, at the end of the story, they're like, this character has become a blank blank because of these choices you made.
Total
This is how they've evolved and changed. So it makes you wonder how they're going to play that.
So were you a cancer upon these people, or?
Some of my characters may have been. Some of them were. But it's like the last game came out so long ago, and this is the other problem I had, was I had trouble remembering everything that happened in Season 2. So I was like, oh, I remember this, I remember that, and trying to reconcile all of my decisions now with my decisions back then.
It would be nice if they could generate a previously on The Walking Dead for you.
Yeah, and they do that for each episode as you play within a season, but not for the past season. I wonder if it's because people's gameplays can be so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no doubt. But it also, like, if you can get the data in and at least generate a couple points to catch people up, that would be nice.
And I didn't use it because I was able to import my save data, but I did see that they had a backstory generator. So if you hadn't played the previous season, you could make some choices that would influence the start of your characters for Season 3. Overall, I mean, like I said, it's 40% off right now. I think it's good for another few days. Get it for 40% off. I mean, it's fine. The game's short. I think if you play these games, you know what you're getting into. Each episode's maybe an hour and a half. So that's why I was able to do it in 2 days, no problem.
Yeah.
And it's fun, I think that I didn't have as many problems with the game engine this time as I have in the past. I don't know if they're like changing their tech up a bit, but the initial load when you first launch the game is painfully long. Other than that, everything seems okay. I mean, I had one glitch where one of the main characters had a giant polygon sticking through him, and I had to like force quit the game and then relaunch it. Other than that, I mean, that was really the only huge technical problem I had.
I've been playing some Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game, and that engine sucks. Like
And that's on their new engine even, right?
And I'm running on like a beefy
great.
PC, and it runs kind of like shit sometimes.
I ended up stopping playing Game of Thrones because it has all those little action sequences where you have to do something and there's a limited window of time in which to do it. And even though I was on a PC that vastly outperformed their requirements, it felt so janky and slow and stuttery, and the game wasn't worth it to me to put up with all that.
The final battle in Tales from the Borderlands was like that for me, where it was very difficult to execute the quick time events in time because of how laggy and delayed it was. They started doing a new thing too now, where when you finish an episode, they give you an advertisement. Well, like, it's like, oh, do you like the Walking Dead game? Why don't you check out the Walking Dead Michonne? It's available for download right now.
Don't do that.
And it's not like it's just like a static image and like a little button. Like,
Push OK.
Yeah, hit OK. Do you want to see it? So they did that, and they also had some ads for the Game of Thrones game every now and then.
Interesting. All right.
Well, I've been on cleanup duty, so I beat Breath of the Wild.
Good.
Which, if you do all the lead up to it, is actually not that hard of a fight.
Dude, that fight was a joke.
Yeah,
I went in with
on the first.
I went in. I had a ton of money.
That's classic RPG fare.
It is.
It's like if you spend time in the world doing other stuff, you always get to the boss, and the final boss is never as strong as other shit you fought in the world.
The degree to which is not a problem is ridiculous. Because I went in with like 40 ancient arrows and killed him in about 3 seconds. Except for the very last part, we had a shield and I couldn't figure out how to get down.
The shield thing stumped me for a while, and I had never really developed the reflect ability. I mean, just
I hadn't either.
I never really learned the timing on it, and that's a huge part of that fight. But yeah, no, it's eventually the shield you get from the
using one of your
mountains,
abilities. Yes.
Also does the same thing. So that came through and saved me. But yeah. I kind of wish, having played it once where we had not completed all of the Divine Beasts, I kind of wish you still had a rehash of the fight with some of the original bosses leading up to them, just to make a more climactic final battle. But, I mean, you can get that if you just never unlock any of the Divine Beasts.
I was a little mad when I got to that final battle and I realized you didn't have to fight the Divine Beasts. I was like, oh, fighting them just reduces his health? I was like, I could have just come straight here.
Yeah.
Well, you have
also
to fight
lose-
all the bosses from the Divine Beast.
You also lose some of the most fun abilities. Like,
Yeah.
So you have to fight your way through the boss that you didn't fight at.
Oh,
Divine
okay.
Beast.
Oh, really?
Yes, if you don't do one
okay,
of
that makes
them,
sense.
that boss is waiting for you before you get to Ganon.
That makes
I
sense.
see. And then Ganon also has more health.
And then I assume Ganon has more health.
okay.
I didn't make it to Ganon when we attempted that. We did it in our Let's Watch. We took down one beast and went there, and I died on the third of the.
So you fight him in a row.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Back.
For me, the fun part of Breath of the Wild was for the Divine Beast I liked the dungeon part of the Divine Beasts. The boss fight at the end, like I could take or leave as far as saving that from the end of the game. I liked the dungeon part. I liked the puzzles in them.
I do feel like that game. I never really developed a lot of sword skills in it because I didn't need to. I was pretty good with the bow and arrow, and by the end of it, I had just a huge stockpile of special arrows, and just like, all right, thunk, there's a bomb arrow, thunk, there's whatever your contrary elemental damage, and it just kills everything instantly. It's like, all right.
I ended up with that problem largely because Caden, who we stole from Achievement Hunter
Right.
to edit for the No, it has a problem. She got a real problem with Amiibo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
to our benefit, though.
To our benefit, yes. We benefit greatly. And so she owns like every Zelda amiibo there is, and would bring them in every single day. And you can scan in the amiibo once per day, and it will drop all these crates and chests and stuff, so you can get like cool weapons or foods or cooking or whatever. And arrows are a huge thing. Like you get arrows constantly. So from tapping in like 15 amiibo per day, I just had so much of absolutely everything that I want for nothing ever again.
And bomb arrows will really break those Divine
Yeah.
Beast battles. You just keep
Yeah.
shooting it in the face, and it'll go down pretty quick.
She didn't take my advice, though.
What?
I suggested that Caden set up a tip
Oh.
jar right next to her amiibos. That way, anytime someone came in, it's like, hey, you don't have to, but
Hey,
Yeah,
there
well,
it is.
Yeah.
And then again with Mario Kart, because you can tap in a bunch of the amiibo and unlock different Mii racing outfits, same thing. She just like set them up on a desk, and we all went through and went tap, 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 tap,
But that was like a
unlocked
one-day
every single
thing.
one of them.
Yeah,
but
as opposed
still,
to, like,
but still
every
could have
day.
at least had a tip jar.
Yep.
Make a little bit of that investment back, because they're all stored in a crate like this big.
yeah, there's a lot
It's
of
just
them. Yeah.
Insane.
huge.
Well, so I beat that, Gus. I beat Zero Dawn.
Oh, what do you think?
Have you beaten it yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I think they did a really good job with that story.
I love the story in Zero Dawn, and I think that I've said this before. I think it's the first game where I actually read everything. I read every journal and listened to every audio log I could find in the world because I wanted to know more about it. And I thought that this is pretty early in the game. I don't consider this a spoiler, but I thought like when you first visit the Grave Horde and you listen to all the audio logs of the soldiers who were making their last stand there, I thought like that was a really emotionally impactful moment.
Yeah.
Like listening to these soldiers knowing that they're making their last stand, like this is humanity's last hope, and kind of like joking about it, figuring out their interpersonal relationship. It really humanized a story that could have been very bland. And excellent execution for them.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is one of the better told stories in a game that I've played in a long time. And I mean, everything about that game was executed so well. Like it's hard to point at something and go, that part sucked.
I would say the thing I didn't like was that you needed specific bows to fire specific arrows. So I felt like there was too much. You had to carry too many weapons, and then you could only
was
equip
hard to
4,
switch between
so you had to
them, yeah.
constantly manage which weapons you had on your toggle. And you're like, oh no, wait, this isn't the bow that fires that arrow. I need to switch this out with that.
Yeah.
I thought that could have been streamlined a little better.
I also it's not really spoiled. They leave it open to a sequel.
Yes, I wasn't sure if that was left open to sequel or DLC or like how they're going to address it, like
Or
how
something.
big they want to go with it. But yeah, there is some open-endedness
There's
to
the
it.
option for the story to continue, which I was actually concerned going to the end of it because it was such a great game, and then we were wrapping up. Part of that game is discovering the world so much, and I was getting to the end of that, and I was like, well, where would a second game in this series go? But they really found a way to kind of give you a direction, and you could call it an unresolved plot point, though.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a good way to segue into a second time.
Yeah, I thought I liked a lot of the ways that they handled reconciling fallen technology with like this new pseudo-primitive world where in the very beginning Aloy goes up with the Allmother, and they're trying to go into the area they can't get into, and it's like there's a corrupted registry, and they take away from it like, oh, there's corruption that you need to heal. It's like, oh, okay, I can kind of see like they're working this technology and with these people like a more primitive way to understand it, and she has to heal the corruption. And I thought it was cool. It's the only game I've ever platinum, like I've ever 100%. And I went through and I made sure I did every single thing I could in that game. I think I played every side quest and talked to everybody in that world. And I told you early on that I didn't even like fast traveling in that world.
You just like to run.
I like to run. It's like no matter how far it was, most of the time, unless like I was trying to wrap something up quickly, most of the time I would just run. Be like, I'm just going to see what I see along the way.
It's all gorgeous.
Yeah.
If you can find a game where fast traveling is not a thing you want to do because you're so busy enjoying just the world that you're in, that's a pretty hefty accomplishment.
It's only happened twice to me. I think it happened on Zero Dawn and it happened on Black Flag.
For me, Red Dead Redemption.
Yep, Red Dead Redemption, big time.
I could stare at like horse butts all day. Just making my way across the west, see the storm rolling in.
God, that game is so good.
Amazing.
And then get attacked by a cougar.
And then absolutely. Or if it glitches out and gets all weird, a human.
Sometimes humans are cougars too.
Oh,
Yeah, like they had weird things that could happen where like it loads in and it's a cougar, but something happened and so it's rendered as a human. So they're getting attacked by a human cougar.
That sounds amazing. I
Cougar?
can't believe I've never seen that.
Oh,
You never been up to the domain on a Friday night?
what's up? All right, so getting into the show itself, I figure we will. So there's a couple of specific ways the show is going to work. We actually break everything down into specific segments, and we'll leave the time codes for those in the description. So if you don't want to hear about the news because you're already up to date, or if you really don't care about, say, Friday the 13th, you can skip ahead to the next segment if you like. But we'll start with.
But we know
news.
you're not going to fast travel through us.
Hey.
Oh my God, that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I figure we'll start with news and then we'll move into talking about Friday the 13th specifically. But it's news time now.
Let's do it.
That looked like
All
a glitch speed run there.
All right. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah. Juice.
Breakfast.
Oh, fuck.
Juice me up, I
All right.
guess.
All right.
This is the day
No,
for
you like this.
exploration.
We're teaching you all kinds of
Now
things.
it's not sad. Now it's classic.
I'm gonna
Right.
chug like a little bit of this.
You're gonna chug a little bit. You know what
I'm gonna
chug
take a
means?
big. I'm gonna take a big sip.
There you go. That's not chugging. Amateur.
That's, yep.
Oh, that was impressive. You know burp?
Want some of this?
Thank you.
Burp? No, not yet.
That's a lot of bubbles. All very relevant to me.
See, this is
good.
how you turn it into a breakfast drink.
That's classy.
Thanks.
Now it's breakfast. It's,
I need
it's
some
currently
eggs.
11 o'clock, so we
This is-
actually.
Now it's got vitamins
It's
and stuff
brunch.
in it.
This is how like brunch is how I learned to be a classy alcoholic.
I'm good. I'm good with my alcoholism.
You just like it straight.
Yeah.
This is way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got
Another
little,
news.
This table has these lovely little cubbies. Watch this.
Disappeared.
I didn't even know that was there.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Okay, so
The
we're
news.
talking about news. All right, so we'll start with Rhyme because we were talking about it a little bit earlier. So Rhyme released, it came out May 26th for PC, PS4, Xbox One. Nintendo Switch is coming, date still TBD. And so far,
just
you know,
can't catch a game with its both hands.
Listen, this week has been announcement after announcement for
Dude,
that console.
just wait. Just wait. So overall, people have mixed things to say about the gameplay. Some people like, some people have issues, and so on. But where there are a lot of criticisms is the game's technical performance. Even on high-end PCs that vastly just dwarf any sort of requirements or even recommendations, it suffers from significant frame rate drops, like down into like 10 here and there. Even it's rough. One of the developers actually commented on Steam about the copy protection that the game uses, which is de novo, and its impact on performance, saying, this is my favorite quote, Rhyme is a very personal experience told through both sight and sound. When a game is cracked, it runs the risk of creating issues with both of those items, and we want to do everything we can to preserve the quality in Rhyme. So basically, he's saying that the de novo is there to make sure the experience is good, even though it's negatively impacting your experience.
Oh.
And also
The hell did I just see?
saying
Did you
that like
just,
somehow the cracked version makes it perform worse or ruins the experience or something.
Do you rip organic orbs out of faux trees?
Yes.
I mean, they're like old robots. They're like old robots.
It's Mr. Stompy. He's the best. He just stomps
Stompy.
around.
Your Stompy friend. Mr. Stompy friend.
So how much of a performance impact? I never thought about that.
So-
Does de novo actually have on games?
It's supposed to be minimal usually.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, I'm sure.
Honestly, I think that this game is just so poorly optimized. I ended up getting the Xbox version instead of the PC version. I was going to get it on PC because I have a nice PC and that's where I would get the best performance usually.
Yeah.
But since I couldn't have that, I was like, well, the console in the bedroom is the Xbox, so I'll get it on Xbox, and that way I can like play it, especially because we'll have the boys for the weekend, and the PS4 is downstairs. Lots of logistics go into it. Anyway, the Xbox version runs like crap.
So
It is constantly frame rate
Can
drops.
I point out
Yep.
like a bit of bullshit hypocrisy here?
Please do,
If
because
de
it's
novo's
amazing.
there to protect the sight and sound of the
That's
game.
the point.
Why don't they fix their fucking frame rate issue?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna love this part then, because they're
Oh, dude.
so they're defensive of why they put this in there, but they also basically dared pirates to go ahead and crack it and said they would release a DRM-free version once it got cracked.
What are they doing?
Like, they will patch
know-
de novo out of the game.
It's been cracked before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's
Why,
now.
why don't they just remove it then?
De novo is now lasting less than a month before people crack it.
it's really stupid.
And the only people this is hurting are, well, theoretically, let's say that the de novo is the problem. I don't think it is. But even if it was the problem, it would be impacting the legitimate consumers, not the people who cracked it and pirated it.
I think I know what they're doing.
Huh?
This is just a delay tactic, right? Like they'll say
they
they'll
can
release a
optimize
DRM,
it.
that way they optimize it, and when they release the patch to remove de novo, they'll also patch to fix their frame rate problem. They'll say, oh look, see, it was de novo all the time.
I
We
feel
just
like de
removed it."
novo has some kind of like defamation suit here.
yeah.
I'm
Let's
looking up
just-
some reports on like benchmarks
Do
for
we
de
explain
novo
who-
versus DRM.
do we
games.
explain
Yeah,
what
I
Ben is
don't.
doing?
I don't know if we've introduced Ben
The
yet.
voice from
so,
the dark?
Ben is our side glitch.
I love the nickname.
You like that too much, Ashley.
You like that a lot.
I broke Ashley.
And has a laptop to like look things up for us, so
'Cause we're
we
wrong
don't
a
end
lot.
up in our laptops like looking stuff up all the time, with the exception of Gus, who's actually amazing at multitasking.
I can look up stuff very quick. I'm a fast typer.
But yeah, I'm looking up some benchmarks for it for like de novo versus like non-DRM games, and most of the findings seem to be around like just a 6 to 7% decrease in frame rate, but probably not the cause between Ryan.
That's more
6 to
significant than
7%.
I would have expected.
67% is still like more frame rate than you want to lose, especially if you're on PC and if you have a rig that's designed to perform. But that doesn't get you from, say, 30 frames per second down to 10.
I think that Ryan might have some GPU utilization issues because people on Steam are reporting like extremely high CPU usage. So maybe that's part of the problem. Well, not de novo, but that they're having problems with GPU utilization. But that's why I avoided that, because my GPU is like my one not so great. It's like an older i7, but you know. I know. But it runs fine on PS4, like totally fine. I played it one sitting, ran
PS4
great.
is the platform
Yeah.
then, or consider waiting a little bit.
Yeah, wait.
Moving on to the next news
Or
is,
crack it.
or
You be the one.
or sail the high seas.
No, don't do that.
Moving on, next news topic: the Castlevania teaser. So.
Oh, I haven't seen this yet.
Okay, so
Really?
Netflix, Netflix is bringing an animated Castlevania series out. It's going really hard for your nostalgia boner right out of the gate.
Don't you talk about my boner.
I love this, and so it shows.
I like
the
how
first
it's a
thing it shows is an
tobacco-stained
NES.
PS4.
Here's
Yeah.
the least realistic thing
scratch
about
it.
this entire trailer, by the way, is the fact that they put the cartridge into the console and it immediately works. They don't have to
it was pre-blown.
they don't have to
Yeah.
jam it down a bunch of times or like jam another cartridge in there to try and like hold it down. No, it
Also-
just
Kevin
works.
Spacey?
Also,
Yeah.
player 2 controller plugged in and just left there like that? Amateurs.
Nobody does that. But so this is going to be the new animated series.
They blocked out the Trinitron logo up there.
And it's being written by, written and executive produced by Warren Ellis, who's a very renowned writer of comic books. He actually, he created the Red comic that's been made into feature films, 2 movies, starring Bruce Willis.
Good
and
movies.
I really like those movies. They're the ones about like the retired spies who like get back into it using like their all old school technology.
Yeah.
And they're all like crusty. I love it. So he's written and he's executive co-producing. He also worked on Transmetropolitan, Global Frequency, Trees, Injection. He's written for Astonishing X-Men. He did the Extremis story arc for Iron Man, which was the basis for the MCU's Iron Man 3. Basically, like, dude works, and he works good. So it's very exciting that he's really overseeing this. I'm pretty stoked about it.
I like that art direction, the art style that they have.
It reminds me a lot of, I don't know if you guys have ever saw Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah, looks a lot like
It looks
that.
great.
Yeah, so this teaser really doesn't share too much. It basically just shows the impaled skeletons, the castle, call for a savior, stylish exit from a sarcophagus, and then the call for the man who will kill Dracula. And that's really all it shows.
Do we know anything about time frame or release window or anything?
Ben, could you go ahead and look that up? I think they might have.
July 7th is when it's supposed to come out.
July 7th. So yeah, it's coming. It's coming very, very soon. Yeah, next month.
This is one of the few times where I can look at something that was a video game property. What?
That's the first day of RTX, so I'm not gonna be able to watch it for a few days.
But here's the thing. What if you just create a panel or a community get-together or something to watch it all together, and that way you get to see it.
We'll call it theater mode Castlevania with Gus.
Hey,
we'll find out the legality of that.
Hey.
I want in.
Yeah, sure. Gus Ashley. Yeah, no, I mean, this is one of those times where I'm looking at it, I'm cautiously hopeful, because anytime they try and translate a video game to another medium, they always seem to end up with just a steaming pile of crap.
Yeah.
But Castlevania might be a good one for it because it is, it's like a story or a type of story that the non-gaming public is already familiar with. It's like, oh yeah, we know a Dracula. Oh, you're gonna try and kill a Dracula. Cool.
Also, I think what they're doing right here is instead of going to Hollywood, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're going to people who actually respect the content.
I feel like Netflix is okay with taking risks and doing things to preserve artistic vision, as opposed to, like you say, like Hollywood, where everything's done safely by committee. So I could see it working. And then to your point, like you say, Dracula exists as folklore, as folk tales. Like, this is a story that transcends the video game medium. So I'm cautiously optimistic as well.
It definitely seems like they're relying a little bit on nostalgia, just because actually where I got that release date from was a poster they dropped 2 days ago, which I think Stab can throw up, but it's based on the old like Nintendo cartridge like poster.
I think they're relying on nostalgia too, because they open with the shot of an NES.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're definitely trying to show like its origins, but I think they can do well. Also, I'm happy with the hands that it's in. So we'll see how that goes. We don't have all that long to wait.
Good luck, Castlevania.
Moving on to the next news item. Cosplay weapons banned at a convention, specifically Phoenix Comic Con. So that was last weekend.
Yeah.
And there was an incident at the convention. A man was arrested for carrying real weapons inside the event. And not just like a weapon. He was carrying, let's see, where is this? 3 handguns, a shotgun, a bunch of knives.
That's more.
He likes to be realistic.
That's more than you can carry in Battlegrounds.
It's like, here's the thing, it's like, I read that and it sounds like a video game character inventory. The dude apparently thinks he was being like the real life Punisher.
He can't decide P92 or P1911.
Which one I do?
45 or 9mm.
I like them both so much. I'll take you both.
Yeah, that, as a cosplayer, it's 2 things. Like, I completely understand why they would ban weapons, because, like, least realistic weapons, because, you know, it's a big convention. If someone carries guns in, that's a really bad fucking thing. But at the same time, like, all these people worked really hard. Like, I made a prop recently, and it took me, like, 2 weeks and, like, maybe, like, 50, 60 hours. And if I brought that to a con and they were like, no, I'd be like, well, this was my favorite thing, and now I'm sad.
Yeah, people's lives and safety is more important than your work into your weapon.
But my fake Roadhog hook is not like something like that's not.
The guy had knives.
So
what constitutes a weapon?
So what constitutes a weapon is any edged weapon, impact weapon, firearm, archery weapon, but then it also extended to fictional weapons like lightsabers and phasers and that kind of thing that are like weapon adjacent.
Well, I mean, if you're getting down to that granularity, literally anything's a weapon.
Yep.
You getting rid of chairs in the convention because someone could brain someone with a chair?
Yeah, they did say that, like, you know, like cooking utensils, like if someone has like the magic spatula of overcooked, I don't know, that would be okay, but anything that looked weapon-ish was not going to fly. And I get it, at least for the duration of that convention. I do hope that we don't see this as an ongoing trend. But this guy was unhinged. He said that he was going to punish bad police officers. He considered himself like a real life punisher.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
And he also apparently had a huge vendetta against Green Ranger Jason David Frank and was
Who gave
potentially
a
going
very
after him.
strange statement.
It was a weird statement.
It was not
saying,
that the statement was weird. It was just his tone was very strange. Like he was just like, I'm so happy to be in front of a camera again. Someone's looking at me, and then but he's giving this very serious statement about like, hey, you know, we're not weapons, and he's like, yeah, no, it's real bad to have things here.
But he may also, giving him the benefit of the doubt, there may have been trying to like keep everyone's like spirits up, not panic people by treating it as like this crazy, terrifying thing. He may have been dying quietly on the inside because it would imagine like being a guest at a convention and then hearing that someone was coming after you with weapons. Like that would be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
So why would you pick out the Green Ranger? He was the best.
He's the nicest guy, yeah.
Well, I mean, and then
well, this guy clearly had problems.
Yeah.
somewhat tangent to this, there was also the guy who crashed the stage at that Street Fighter V tournament. I don't know if you saw that. It was
like in the middle of an important match.
At the end of the second round, he ran up on stage, like tapped one of the competitors on the shoulder and started talking to him. And the competitor doesn't know, he's like, you know, what's going on? He doesn't know if this guy's like an official or something. And then like the whole match is disrupted. They had to eject the guy. Then they gave the person who was interrupted like a free bar of his super filled up so that to try to like compensate for the interruption. He ended up losing still, but it's just like so weird that you have these people.
Like you're at a competitive event, you're watching a competitive event.
Yeah.
There are people on a stage competing, and you're like, you know what, this would be a great time to let them know I'm a big fan.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
there not
Is this-
stage
oh, is this
security
don't do it.
there?
So yeah, this is
you
the
can see it's
match right
really
here.
close. See, the guy just
As he
hops up.
being like, hey, big fan. Like, what
a
are you doing?
Fucking...
So it was before the match had started.
Right, and you can see like they cut to the footage here. And then also, I mean, I have a little GIF here.
Oh, and that was it? So he just ran up and said hi, and then...
Yeah, and then
So-
he like hops off and runs away. And the
he
guy's
leaves,
obviously...
and the guy's like, what? Wait,
yeah.
what? But at the same time, that is going to take you out of a headspace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that guy's job. He's got to be in a certain mind place to be able to do it, because that's
It's like,
lightning
remember
reaction.
when Christian Bale freaked out on the set of Terminator, and it was this huge thing in the press because he was upset that he had to do like this super emotional scene, and this guy in the middle of the live shooting was like, you know what, I'm gonna go and adjust these lights, and everyone acted like Christian Bale was this horrible person because of it, which, you know, sure, maybe a little bit overboard, but he was also like professionally super amped up in that moment. You know, they're like, all right, be normal, be normal. All right, cry for your life.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, like take all that emotion, everything, all the rage and anger that you feel. Now, let out the words. And then, like, you got
So
some
method.
fucker, like, messing with lights and shit. You're like, all that anger, all
That's
that
gonna get
worked up,
directed.
like, all
Yeah,
that,
go
guess
somewhere.
what? That's going somewhere, and it's going at you. So, like, that headspace thing is, like, it's for, you know, for performers, it's a very real thing.
I will say, when you described the situation to me, I was assuming it was going to be much more dramatic than that, but that's still not cool.
Yeah, it's still like someone coming up from behind. You
Yeah.
know, you're in your space, you're focusing this way, and then someone, and you're like, what? You're not expecting that.
Also, he
Supposedly
probably
got on stage to tell the guy to calm down because I guess he felt like he needed a coach.
Wait, what?
Yeah, here, I'll see if I can find it.
I mean, he probably didn't. Could he even hear the guy? He had the headphones
Yeah, it
on,
seems like he
so
pulled
that's
his
probably why
headphones
he
off
took
and
them off
didn't
and was
hear it.
What a
confused. If someone
fucking-
tapped him and said something, he had no idea what the hell it was.
Yeah, it's like you're on stage. You're not expecting anything remotely like that to happen. So that's fine. But let's see. We'll move on to, this is a great Nintendo Switch story, actually.
Oh, is this the... No. This is the
No,
wrong
this is a great one. This is, so Nintendo is pretty good about building, you know, resilient hardware. They're used to building it so it can survive kids. This one, though, might take the cake. So a YouTuber has gone the extra mile for a durability test. They used a drone to carry a Nintendo Switch 1,000 feet in the air and then drop it into a parking lot onto concrete. It survived.
I wonder what the terminal
Working.
velocity of a Switch is.
Like, how survived?
It works.
there it goes.
There it goes. So you can see it in the video here. It drops. It hits on the left Joy-Con. Man, honestly, the left Joy-Con kind of has like a rough life. Isn't that the one that also had all the issues?
Yeah.
Well, so it landed on the left Joy-Con. They picked it up. It was still working. It was still on, still powered. Everything worked except the left Joy-Con was broken.
It's
The
pretty
screen
busted up
is
looking.
Fairly.
No, I think that's just Joy-Con there.
Oh, this is the strap.
Yeah, because it's like it's taped and stuff. So
Oh, the strap is taped.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that broke, but the rest of the thing is actually still working. This is incredible.
That's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
no kidding, dude. What the fuck?
It reminds me a little bit of. Do you remember the bulletproof Xbox? There was some incident with the original Xbox One, that where there was a domestic disturbance, something, and a gunshot ended up like hitting an Xbox, and it continued to work. Like it did not break the Xbox, and everyone was like, bulletproof Xbox.
Was it
yes.
a through and through, or did the bullet stop in the Xbox?
I think it ricocheted.
Okay.
But the point being that the Xbox could not be defeated by a bullet. I wonder how many people after that went and shot their Xboxes
to try it out.
see.
I've taken apart a few Xboxes. Well, not Xbox One, so I don't know.
Original Xboxes.
Oh yeah, OG Xbox.
OG.
Yes.
Firstest Xbox.
There's not a lot in there, but a hard drive that probably could have bounced off.
Maybe
They
the
were built
CD
like
drive?
they were built like bricks though.
Yeah, they were fucking, yeah.
Well, they were heavy like bricks, but
Fun-
that was about where the comparisons
Fun
ended.
story. Bernie actually has an original Xbox. This was. It was like, I don't know if it was auctioned for charity or what it was exactly, but he has an original Xbox, and it has a bunch of signatures from people in the industry. I signed it
Really?
Oh, that's over
Before-
in the conference room.
before Bernie and I knew each other.
Uh-huh.
Like we both of our signatures are still
it's
on this Xbox. There are so many
weird.
years that like we orbited each other, like just in the industry. Because there's also a bunch of times where like I knew you.
I met you at the first PAX.
So anyway, weird. But,
Crazy.
bulletproof consoles, awesome. All right, moving on to the glitch of the week, which this just came out this morning. So the only description I have in my notes is, "What the fuck, Nintendo?"
What happened?
Yeah.
I know what it is,
so
Ben.
Let's. Can we bring this up?
Show the
this
picture.
this is how voice chat for Splatoon is going to work.
Oh,
Let's look
fucking
at this
no.
fucking diagram.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Take
All
it
right,
in,
so
Adam.
you have, first of all, a Splatoon-shaped dongle thing, which admittedly, while cute,
Is it a
because the
squid or a
shape is-
kid?
You mean the play button?
You have to have cords that go between the headset and the squid.
it's an audio
kid,
splitter,
squid
essentially.
kid.
Yes.
Yes. Back to the console and out to your phone, and
Well,
those are like
Combiner.
and those are like 20 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is going to be like all jammed up on you
So
at all times.
Imagine playing that on your TV if it's in the dock.
Right.
Then you have to be 20
Just-
inches from your TV.
No.
Just imagine it.
How the fuck?
Oh, and
Yes,
admittedly,
look at what they have
I want to
done.
add an asterisk here. This is not an official first-party headset. This is a third-party headset that's going to be sold.
That's
for
a huge asterisk.
Which is in the game.
Right.
That's a huge asterisk.
Which is in
But
the
we
game.
have-
But it is officially licensed by Nintendo. This is a product Nintendo looked at and said, yes,
That is in the game.
And-
this is
that
licensed.
headset.
And it's not. It's only a normal-sized asterisk, Adam. I would argue, because this Nintendo hasn't told us what their solution is. If their solution is any different, they haven't said anything, which means the story is being written by this shit.
Their solution, the
have-
Nintendo solution may be a longer cord,
Yeah, they
which
have-
would also be bullshit.
I mean, well-
No, they have said, like, in previous statements about their VoIP is that you have to do it through the phone.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they have.
Is
so,
there Bluetooth on the Switch?
No.
No.
There's no Bluetooth. That's a big problem. There's no Bluetooth headphones. Man, that's crazy. But
This looks like
let
garbage.
me play devil's advocate for 1 second.
What you got?
Did you guys play Splatoon?
Yes, I love Splatoon.
Did you use voice chat in that? No, because
No.
there wasn't any.
No.
And it was fine.
Yeah.
Because it's just like
It was-
it's a casual
it
fun
was-
game.
Let me
It
tell you
was
something.
okay.
Do you wish there was voice chat in Mario Kart 8 on the Switch?
No.
Hell yes.
All the trash talking that we
Hell
did?
yeah.
I enjoy. Okay. Yeah, I get where you're
I
coming
like
from.
turning you
but
off, is what I'm saying.
I did enjoy like the post game between match
That's
text,
bullshit.
calling you a little bitch and things like that. Like that was fun.
Yeah, but see, you shouldn't have to be done
You
via
should not.
text message. We had Twitter DMs going for
Yeah.
one match at one point.
No. You're
and we
totally
would have
right.
to like
You're
put
totally
like
right.
we'd have to like put down the Switch, go over to Twitter, type out our shit, and then be like, oh, match is starting, and then like go back to it. Voice chat
There's-
matters now.
If that is the solution for Nintendo's for voice over IP, there's no way I'm fucking using it.
Yeah, that's garbage.
If I have to use voice, I will just either make a phone call to someone, put my headphones in, or I will use like the Discord app with
I mean,
networking
that's
talk.
basically what you're doing.
It's basically what
a
you're doing.
Skype
but you don't
call
have to,
mixed with the
it's
audio.
bullshit, dude.
Which, to be fair, that is not a complicated setup. You could easily replicate that with with hardware you can get from Best Buy.
Yeah, but you're still going to have a mess of cords.
Yeah,
is the
or
problem.
you know what
You
I
are
could do is
still
I
gonna
could just
have
have like I could have if I have to do it through my phone, just use Discord, Bluetooth headset, phone in the pocket. Don't worry about it, and then you're fine.
Right.
That is a mess.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Discord Bluetooth solution is going to end up being
That's what I would.
the best,
Yeah, that's
the best
what I
way
would
to
do.
approach this.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
that's where Nintendo's main seems to be they're huge failing right now on their network side, which they're about to charge for. Have not something they've been
They have not
doing until
they,
now.
They haven't said when they're going to charge, but
They're going to.
I think they said by the end of this year.
I was surprised.
They-
Did you guys play the Global Test Punch?
No, I didn't.
I was very surprised at how smooth it was online, and B, like how, like not sophisticated, but how creative their lobby system was for ARMS. So in the ARMS lobby, you basically get 8 to 10 players together, and you're all in this lobby, and you're just rotating around on the screen, but you're getting placed into matches like rapid fire. So you'll get a one-on-one, and then you'll go back to the lobby, you'll wait a second, then it'll spin all the player icons around and drop you in a 2v2. Then you'll go to another match and drop you in, and it'll sort of like shuffle you around with who you're playing with, and also what kind of game types you're playing. So it's rapid fire, and it's like it's really smooth, and I'd never had any drops, and it was great, and you got rewards for being there longer, and I thought actually it worked amazingly.
Well, their gameplay creative people are doing a really, really good job. Whatever their headset creative team is doing, I think needs some work.
Well, that's where they fall apart. And this could be also spun. However, to give them some credit, this could be spun as a feature in some ways. But the social interaction level of their network is nigh non-existent. I mean, there's not a good way. Shut up, phone. There's not a good way to interact
Did you
with
just
other
talk
people.
to your crotch?
I mean, it's just shy of a bit to the right.
Some people hang that way.
Not today. But
It's different ways.
Sometimes
Maybe gets
It's
moved.
uncomfortable if it hangs to the left for me. Anyway, go
it
ahead.
just depends on where you're sitting, man. I mean,
All right. Go ahead. Maybe you're working with less than I am.
whoa. And I would be able to tell you what I was working with if they had any way for me to communicate it on Nintendo.
And I agree that this has worked for them in the past, and it's because they have not charged for that online service. But once we enter that realm of where they're charging a premium for the online service, then they have to be able to fulfill the voice and text communication better.
Expectations change a lot once you start paying for a service.
Well,
That
let me
starts, by the way,
spin it.
fall 2017. They come out and said, I'm finding a few articles that say it'll cost between 2,000 and 3,000 yen, so about 17 to 26 bucks a year, which is pretty good compared to like Xboxes and PlayStation models. And then as well, I believe like Nintendo's come out and said that like they're the one developing like the Switch app, so they're going primarily through the phone, it seems.
Yeah. So app, cool, fine, whatever. But we still need to talk about the headset.
Let me give one. This is, as I'm loath to defend Nintendo, but the one redeeming factor about this, though, is by divesting those features from the console itself, I can hand it to my kid, and no one's going to tell him that they're going to fuck his mom.
Oh, true. Here's actually, when you said Switch app, it made me think about something that kind of ties into what you said. It could be, and it's pure speculation, I might be crazy here. It could be that when they eventually launch a Switch app, you can link it with your Nintendo ID so that your phone knows what games you're playing via the online service, and you don't have to plug in.
I mean, they'd kind of have to, but...
Right, and it pipes everything so you don't have to plug your phone into a splitter. You can plug headset in your
no,
phone.
it's definitely not going to pump game audio.
You don't think I guess
No,
there's
that
too
is
much latency for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that's too interdependent.
Not a good solution.
Yeah.
Maybe you put an earbud in
Inelegant.
and you listen to it via your speakers.
Yeah, you put earbuds in, then you have over-ear headphones.
I don't know.
And it says Splatoon 2 will be compatible with an upcoming Nintendo Switch app for smart devices that enhances online play. This app will connect to the game and allow players to set appointments to play with friends who have been added to the Nintendo Switch friend list or via their social media accounts.
Super free 3 p.m. Gus.
We got a,
We got a 305 a test punch coming up.
The app
Alright,
also
well-
allows players to match up with those friends directly in the game or voice chat with them via their smart device.
Good news is that we're not going to have too much longer, I think, to wait to find out what Nintendo's sort of first-party solutions are going to look like, because E3 is less than 2 weeks away. You know they're going to be talking about this stuff. They'll be talking about their launch plan for the online and, online voice and their basically plan for the year. So we'll find out exactly what it is they have planned. Until then, it is speculation, but this worries me.
Yep.
But let's not get too bogged down, we're going to move on to Game Chat. We're going to talk about Friday the 13th. But first, I'd like to thank Blue Apron for making this episode possible. Not all ingredients are created equal. Fresh, high-quality ingredients make a real difference, so it's important to know where your food comes from. For less than $10 per person per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-proportioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. You can choose from a variety of new recipes every week or let Blue Apron's culinary team surprise you. Recipes aren't repeated within a year, so you'll never get bored. Some upcoming meals include beef teriyaki stir-fry, baked spinach and egg flatbread, and crispy salmon. Oh, and I looked another one up. One of the ones coming up next week is that I'm totally ordering this one. It's seared steaks and salsa verde with fingerling potatoes, asparagus, and radishes. Doesn't that sound amazing? I'm absolutely getting
We
it.
need to have that here while you do the ad read.
It's like,
Maybe we could do like a little mini mukbang.
Yeah. This is an example, and now watch us enjoy it.
I'm digging it. Blue Apron's freshness guarantee promises that every ingredient in your delivery arrives ready to cook, or they'll make it right. You can customize your recipes every week based on your preferences, and Blue Apron has several delivery options, so you can choose what fits your needs. And there's no weekly commitment, so you only get deliveries when you want them. If you go on vacation, you don't have to worry about a bunch of gross food like rotting away, because what you get is going to be there for you and it's going to be fresh. You can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/glitch. You're going to love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/glitch. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
Yeah, I put my service on hold for the week I'll be at E3, so that I don't miss anything. And last night I cooked the honey rhubarb chicken with asparagus and fingerling potatoes. It was delicious.
Really
I don't think I've ever cooked with rhubarb before.
I like every time I cook now, because I've been playing a lot of Overcooked recently. I always I visualize that in my brain.
I started playing Overcooked this past weekend.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard.
Well, it's a much better social game. If you're playing by
really,
yourself, you're not really getting the full experience.
No, definitely not. It has a campaign that you can play by yourself, but it's really not made for that at all.
I like playing with myself.
Maybe that's why you hang to the left.
Right.
Oh,
over
the right?
I said the right.
I don't keep track of where you hang.
Righty. Hey, what's up? Sorry. A very inappropriate conversation.
No, it's a very appropriate conversation.
Pretty standard conversation, right?
All right, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Friday the 13th.
That's the graphic for that game. What the fuck is that?
That's from Friday the 13th.
That's from Friday there.
That is from Friday the 13th. This game is so crazy glitchy. People have now figured out the camp counselors. You can fly, and then Jason
just like the
can
movie.
never get you.
How the fuck can you fly?
I don't know. It's a
you
goddamn.
fall and
This
miss the
game
ground.
is so freaking buggy and
Douglas Adams
glitchy
was
and
proud.
crazy. For those of you who don't know, Friday the 13th just came out for PS4, Xbox One, PC. It's developed by Ilphonic and published by Gun Media. The summary of the game is that it's a third-person horror survival game where players take on the role of a teen counselor, or, for the first time ever, Jason Voorhees.
The second time.
Yeah, you were Jason in the NES game, weren't you?
For the second time, for the first time, for the
you
last
also play
time,
him
for the
in
second time
Injustice
ever.
or Mortal Kombat, one of the two.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it's the third time. Yeah.
For not the first time ever, but definitely
How could they say
for a
that?
time.
Well, look, maybe it's in his natural habitat, right? I guess, maybe, I don't know.
So basically, it's an 8-player game. In a match, one person randomly gets selected as Jason and is the hunter, and then the 7 other players end up as these teenage camp counselors in the horror movie who have to try to escape or survive while Jason is hunting everyone down and killing them. And each of the different counselors, and you're randomly selected which one you get in any round.
No, that's not true. You can select your counselor.
Right, but the Jason is randomly
No,
selected.
you can select your. Oh, who is the Jason?
Yes.
Sorry, there's 2 things that work here. You can pick counselors and Jason versions.
You can do random counselors.
I want to fix
You
something I
can
said
do
real
random,
fast.
but
Okay.
You were not Jason in the NES version. You were the counselors.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Second time ever.
Yeah.
So for the second time, for the first time, for the last time.
the first time in recent memory.
On this generation. Yeah, the game so far has got kind of a mixed reception. So on Steam, it's currently got a 66% thumbs up. It's got a 71 on Metacritic, a 5.6 community score on Metacritic, a 67 on OpenCritic. People who like the game like it. It's very reminiscent of a lot of the sort of asymmetrical horror survival games that have come out lately, like the Dead by Daylight or Dead by Daylight? Dead by Daylights, which you played quite a bit of, right, Ryan?
Damned.
It is definitely not Dead by Daylight, unfortunately.
It seems so. I haven't played it yet, but I sat in and watched you guys when Achievement Hunter streamed it yesterday, and it seems like a fun game when you're sitting in a room playing together like that.
That's kind of the main point there is, okay, so...
Gus, hook me up with some more of that celebration drink.
I may have finished it. I'll let you know.
You finished off the entire bottle? Nice.
Yeah, I've been drinking.
Been hitting it. Yeah, okay, so what makes this game feel a lot more like a Jason murder simulator, which you only get to play randomly, is that your chances as a counselor are fairly limited. Now, playing it online as a random counselor is not a lot of fun.
No.
So that's what I was doing. That's the experience that I've had so far. So I ended up getting it on PC because when it came out, like at its launch, it had a really, really rough launch. Would you care for some juice?
I'm good, thank you.
Would you care for
I'm good.
other juice?
Booze juice?
I'm juiced out.
I'm gonna juice myself.
Coffee?
Also good. We need a drink service tray.
We'll just like borrow always open drink tray.
Just drag it in.
You inhale off that and you might get a little bit drunk. So the game came out and there were all kinds of crazy connection issues. People not being able to get to matches, like trying for like 10 minutes just to get into a match, which could then be over in a couple of minutes. Super frustrating, really rough launch. The Xbox version, I was going to, like I probably would have got that because that's where a lot of my friends play online and I would have had a better chance of at least doing like private matches or something. Well, that one launched and it wasn't even up to the version of the PS4 and PC. It was like it was missing like its day 0 patch or
Yeah, they said that it didn't get through in time. Yeah.
and so it was like that one was behind and people were having a bunch of issues there. So I ended up going PC because I heard that it was best for connections overall and like, okay, cool. But then as a result, like I don't have a multiplayer crew to really roll with. So I was playing by myself. I never got to be Jason. I was only ever a counselor. And I think I'm not the demographic for these games because I hid in a closet for 5 minutes until the police came.
That is not an uncommon thing to do. You see a lot. Well, okay, let's address the big glaring issues with it real quick. Okay, so when you first start off in a lobby, you ready up and advance to another screen. So the lobby fills up, you ready up, you advance to another screen where you typically lose 2 to 3 of those players.
Oh, God.
It's an 8-player game.
Because connection issues.
Because of connection issues. But then it tries to repopulate people on that screen. So you then sit on that second screen for a further few minutes while it tries to find people to replicate. It is not great at picking people in your region. I've had more than one occasion where it's been the names of people popping in were all in kanji, which implies to me that perhaps they were not local. So,
Essentially, you don't know that.
also, that game never launched. Once those people hopped in, I never got past that screen. So I think it was just picking like desperation move. Give me anybody. Okay, so you finally get in the game. You're probably not Jason. So what you're going to do is you're going to just roam around with very little ability to coordinate with other people. There is in-game chat.
Yep.
But
you don't have to use a cell phone for it. A plus.
Well, you say that. As near as I understand it, because I didn't really use the in-game chat, but I think it's all proximity-based. Unless you find a cell phone or a radio, in which case then you can communicate.
I would think that's the way it should work.
Kind of, but the problem is you start all spread out, but it is very much a game where the only chance that the counselors have is coordination.
Yep.
If you're spread out and just all trying to fix different
And closets. Let's be clear.
No, the closets are not a great way to hide because Jason sees everything.
Well,
No,
I
he
played
only
with
sees
a
when you
lame
sprint.
Jason.
Well, here's the thing. I did figure that out yesterday when we were playing, and it was a round where I was the last one alive, and Matt was Jason. And he couldn't find me because I was playing a character. All the various counselors have different strengths, and I was playing the bookish girl, which is high on stealth. So as long as I walked, he couldn't really find me. Here's the walk speed, though.
So you know what? You know what's a real fucking problem with
It was
that
a
game?
little faster than that.
It's really not.
There
It's
were-
I
really
saw
not.
it.
Look,
What
look,
teenager?
There it
That's
is.
not her, though.
No, that's-
They're all walking at about that speed.
What teenage
you're not
camp
getting
counselor
fucking
is that
anywhere.
unfit?
Right. Also, you have very little duration for sprint. So I was playing yesterday, and I finally was a camp counselor. I was like, okay, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to get this card
You were
together.
finally the counselor? You've been Jason
No,
up
I'm sorry.
on
I'm
me?
sorry.
You're the
I
one
was-
getting
no,
them
no,
all?
I was finally in the mood to actually try.
Okay.
So I got a character. I was alone. I was fine. I was walking slowly. Jason wasn't after me for once in the beginning. I got a battery. I put it in the car. No one was around me. And fucking bitch lady sprints up and is literally just running circles around me, like alerting Jason. And of course, fucking 2 seconds later, Jason shows up, kills us.
Yes.
Like,
this is what makes that game not fun online. But I will contend that in a LAN environment, it is actually pretty enjoyable.
If everyone is playing, like if you have friends together and you're playing your roles, I can totally see where that game is pretty fun. Like
actually much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
It seemed like when you were playing it like with the other achievement hunters, you had a really good time. Everyone was communicating and shouting, and that seems like exactly what you need in that game. If you're playing it as just a random online, it's really no good.
Yeah,
it really is.
I got to play as Jason once. I didn't know what I was.
Jason.
I didn't know what I was doing, other than Gus. Do you know that Jason can teleport?
Oh yeah,
I saw. Yep.
Do you know that Jason can go invisible?
And super fast while
I didn't know. I didn't.
And you can grab counselors while you're.
I knew about
He
the
can
super
also
fast
swim
part. I didn't
at
realize
about
that
100
also.
miles an hour.
Yeah, Jason is his father was a shark. That's what I learned.
Yeah. I don't know what the fourth ability did other than turn houses red.
Rage. Well, no, you got Sense, you've got the Teleport, you've got the Speed Walk, ghost thing, and then Rage, which is you just burst through doors.
Oh,
like,
mine wasn't Rage. My default one was like Stalk or something.
Yeah, so there's actually different
Rage mode
Jasons.
is a different thing.
Yeah.
There's actually a totally different button for that.
You get access to additional Jasons as you level up, right?
They all have the basic same power set, so just some of them have different like bonuses to what skills recharge faster.
Okay.
So-
and they also
run
have
or
different
not
weapons. Like one will have like a spear,
Yeah.
and one's gonna have like a machete, and so
So you
on.
get different kills.
And it's actually like the max level Jason is the one that you would actually know from the movies, right?
Oh, they're all from
They're
various
from-
movies.
Yeah.
But I think you mean the max level one is the one with the machete. So it
Yes.
takes a while to get
Right,
to like
which is-
machete cover art Jason.
Yeah. The teleport is weird. You can literally teleport anywhere in the map instantly.
With no cooldown, right?
No, there is a cooldown. It's a
There's
really
a
short
cooldown on
cooldown.
doing it again, but there's no cooldown on emerging from teleport. You pop out of teleport, ready to go.
Right. So there are times when I was Jason and the counselors would reverse away from me and I would just teleport behind their car and then they run into me and they're like, ah! And it's like,
That's kind of like the movie, though.
well,
You never
that's
know.
what I was thinking.
So it's like they never
it's-
explain it in the movie.
It's overpowered.
About how he's omnipresent.
But like from a player's perspective, they're like, okay, he's back there, and they're like, they run into the house and they're doing something, and then suddenly Jason's right there, and like from that perspective, it actually kind of works. But man, like. There are so many weird, janky things about Jason, even as he's really overpowered. But like, if they're standing behind a fence and you don't have teleport, you're fucked because like he can't get over fences. He just has to like walk slowly around them, and he walks slow as fuck, dude.
Some versions of him can run.
Everyone walks so
Okay.
slow.
Also, you even as Jason that can't run, you still have to hold down Shift to get his like. He'll do like a little shambling, almost jog.
Shuffle.
Yeah, as a
Jason
counselor,
It's very
like,
geriatric.
6 out of 8 matches I played as a counselor, I died in the first. I was like the first one to die. If you sprint it all in the beginning, he'll find you. And
Which, once you're the person to die first, it means you have to sit out the rest of the match and watch.
And you know
if
what?
You want your experience.
You know what I did my first
Oh.
match? Yes.
Yes.
You know what I did my first match? I waited, and everyone got killed except one person. And I was like, why is this one?
sat in a
Why
closet,
is this
didn't
one
Was it
person?
me? Was I in a closet?
Why is this person a glory hole? I had no idea. Like I didn't know because I hadn't seen the closet before. And then they got out of the closet for a second. I'm like, this is a fucking closet. They sat in the closet for the entire time. The counter was 14 minutes.
We were
And-
playing together.
wow.
And
No, I
to
didn't
make it
wait.
worse, Jason was walking around and he couldn't figure out how to get in the fucking closet. So you just see Jason pacing back and forth. And I watched for a good 10 fucking minutes before I was like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot.
oh, this sounds
Here's
like
the
a
thing.
nightmare.
Dude, it
Here's
was the
thing.
worst.
So I think partly what is causing this is if you find a certain radio in the map, you can call in a character that is a hunter, like I guess he's from one of the previous
His name is
movies.
Tommy Jarvis.
Tommy
I got to be Tommy Jarvis. He sucks.
It's the second time, once 2 people are dead, one of the, I think the first one to die, will respawn as Tommy with a super powerful shotgun that has 1 shell in it.
Little did I know.
That's all you get. And you can blast Jason real good with it, but he falls over and gets right back up.
Right. I blasted him with it. He fell over. They were like, oh, you need to have the jacket. I was like, I'll find no fucking jacket.
If you want to,
I got
like,
a shotgun.
If you want to legit kill him, yeah, there's a whole process.
There's what, like there's a sweater. There's
You have to find his hut.
machete.
You have to find the hut that he starts in, where his mom's sweater is. You put the sweater on, then you have to wait until he goes after the person with the sweater. With the sweater on, you have an ability that you can activate with the Q button, which then stuns him. Then he starts. Well, you have to first knock his mask off. So you have to shoot the shit out of him or beat him, and just until the mask comes off, which it eventually does. Then use the Q ability, and he's like, you pretend to be his mom, and you're like, "Oh, Jason, don't do it." And while he's all like mesmerized by mom's sweater, you come up and get him behind by a different character. One of the non-Tommy or mom characters whacks him. Then he goes down to his knees. Then Tommy has to come in and finish him with a machete.
Did you also mention that the person wearing the sweater has to be a female counselor?
Yes, and the person wearing the sweater has to be a female.
Sexism. God
Right?
damn.
Well, it's, pretending to be mommy, I guess. That's the...
Oh, that makes
Man,
sense. Okay.
that just sounds involved. I think overall this game would have been much better served if they had just released it as what it is, which is early access.
And maybe not for $40.
$40 is way too high for this game.
I
love the concept a
I
lot.
assume licensing fees
Well,
has something to do with
the
it.
thing is too, like this. So this game was delayed. It was meant to come out last year, is in October, I think, and so it's been delayed. It came out. It's a buggy mess. Now, what I was hearing was that they delayed it in order to add some progression systems and stuff, so there's more replayability. But I would have much preferred to have the game release as early access. Just say, you know what, it's got bugs. We've got to add stuff. We have a bunch of work to do, but it's in a playable state. We want to see what you think. We want to get your feedback. We want to develop it with you. Let's do this and do it as early access. But they didn't. It's released as a retail product, and it's not.
And it had a beta.
Yet.
Like, it's not like this is the first time it's hit the street. Yeah, the progression stuff is kind of nice.
I've been on the streets so long, Ryan.
But I don't think they do any level matching.
I think people's biggest...
Because there's not like a global level. So you could be facing a Jason or a counselor that has some...
You do have a global level. You have a one progression number that goes up.
Yeah.
But I think people's biggest complaint is that Jason's overpowered, but for me the biggest complaint is the game doesn't feel good to play. Like none of the characters control well. The lack of being able to run more than 5 feet before you're out of stamina is nuts.
Do you think that these are issues that can be addressed in a patch? Do you think this is fixable?
Yeah, like
we'll get to a point where
that's what I was originally going to wait like a year or two and see if it got any better.
A year or two.
Dude, I don't like. I love the concept. I don't need to play this game right away.
How do you feel about the FOV on the counselor? Because it feels real rough to me.
It's a little like.
Do you wish it was wider?
Yeah.
I feel like there are a lot of...
thematically that makes sense though.
I think it works, especially when you're digging through drawers and it's right over their shoulder, and you see that you're afraid if it pulls back, you'll see Jason. Like that creates a little bit of tension. I think this game is not scary at all. I'm like the biggest wuss in this office. No scare. You're like, first off, you know immediately when Jason's around you because it plays the music. So you're like, okay.
I find it frustrating more than anything. Which I know a lot of the elements are made to, like randomly stumbling while you're trying to run because it's typical horror movie trope.
Yeah.
Like all that sort of stuff is. Yeah, it's not. I don't feel jump scared.
No.
I just generally feel kind of frustrated with everyone.
Yeah,
and I just have to recognize that it's not my kind of game, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I think part of the lack of scare is because you never feel at any point like you have a chance.
No,
If
definitely
Dead by
not.
Daylight, you're like, well, if I duck around this thing or I pull this thing down, then maybe I can just hide over there and he'll walk. And you have that moment where he like walks by you and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
With Jason, it's like, oh, he turned his sense on. Hey, what you doing down there? You're dead.
And I feel like Jason should be totally overpowered, but like to some extent, like if Jason could run forever and you could run forever, and he couldn't teleport or anything like that, maybe that would be a little bit better balance and get rid of those moves. But I mean, there's a million things with the counselors that's wrong. Like when you want to pick up any item of importance, you have to hold down the E button for 3 seconds. So like, I want that battery. I got the battery. It's fucking nuts, dude.
And your experience as Jason is you spawn into the world. It's like there's some circles over there.
Yep.
All right. Let me wait about 2 minutes, and then because you start with one ability, and the rest of them unlock over time. So you're like, all right, I'll just stroll around for a minute. All right, everything's open? All right. There's a circle over there. It means someone's running. Teleport to that location. Turn on sense. All right, they're right there. I'm going to go invisible, fly right up to them. I'll snatch them off the ground before they even come out of invisibility. Yep. And as long as no one's around, because they can't communicate with each other, plebs, I'll stamp them into the ground a few times, and I win.
Yep. Unless they have a knife.
Unless they have a knife, which frequently happens, and you can turn around and full out lay Jason out if you come at him with you time it right, hit him with certain things.
Anything, like a bat.
The tutorial talks a lot about this combat mode, which you can turn on, and it says like dodge. I have not figured out dodge.
So every time I've gotten grabbed by Jason, it's like mash E to release. It pops up the second it pops up, you get killed. Like there's
Pretty much.
that little time.
There's no getting
and there's no mashing E because it's a bar you have to fill up. The one thing I'll give that game is the animation when Jason comes out from the water into your boat is great. It looks awesome.
They spend a lot of time on the kills. The kills are gruesome and worth seeing.
Play for the boat kills.
Play for the boat.
Play for any of the kills.
Also,
The kills
if you
are
want to
great.
swim really fast as Jason, he's a great swimmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Olympic calories, like Michael Phelps. Minus the weed.
Minus the
And you'll drown the person immediately, so just don't go in the water. But there, as a survivor, you got kind of the interesting twist on it is you do have multiple ways to escape, which is kind of a problem because that leads to the non-being able to communicate players just doing random things.
Yeah, well, it also means, like, you know, you have to go through, like, you're like, all right, well, I'm going to now go through every drawer in every house, just like one by one, searching for things because I've got to find a key and a battery and I've got to repair the car. And like, so there are all these different steps, and you may have like some random person who's got the only keys, and it's just like walking around with them.
And ran off of the wood, got killed by
idea.
Jason. You'll never find it.
Right. The other thing is that all the scenario you play, it's the same every single time. It's the same place, the same fucking stupid cutscene in the beginning where they show the stupidest face they could possibly show, and that's it. You're right.
It's a great face.
The same location can work for some games. It seems to be working very well for
There's
Battle.
3 maps.
Oh yeah, but they are getting.
Are there 3 maps?
There are 3 maps.
How do you get that?
I can see how you might not think they were different. But there are 3 different maps.
Oh man, maybe
It just still feels the same.
Well, it's because it's all woods and cabins at night.
All right.
It's all
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
And it's as far as I can tell, what changes is the layout of where the cabins are, but it's still like a specific set of cabins with and they all have the same layout, just where they are exactly changes a little bit.
Yeah, it's not significantly different.
Yeah. Hey Ryan.
Yeah, what's up?
Nice watch.
Thank you.
Is that a movement watch?
You know it is.
Fabulous, because I'd like to thank Movement Watches for sponsoring this episode of Glitch Please. I love the watch they got me. See, you got the nice black and red one. I have a blue,
Neither of us are on camera.
Hey,
We've both reached
hold
off
on,
of cameras.
Hold on. Yeah.
That's not a close-up.
We're doing it. We're
Just
really.
over Adam, look haffier. There you go. Which direction is the key?
It's the one with the red light.
There. Where's focus? It's on Adam's
There we
face.
go. Yes.
In
Yes.
the beard.
We did it.
Hey.
We did it. Okay, we're really good at this. So as you can tell, our watches are really, really sweet. Adam likes them a lot.
Love mine.
MVMT was actually started by 2 broke college kids that wanted to wear stylish watches like ours, but they couldn't afford them, so they started their own watch company. These watches start at just $95 at a department store for the equivalent kind of watch, or an apartment store if you're in the market for that as well. You'd be looking at $400 to $500. Movement figured out that by selling online, they're able to cut out the middleman and the retail markup, so they can provide the best possible price. And also, really cool is you can change out the band. I like to change out the bands on mine all the time. Sometimes I change this out for a black band, just to feel extra stylish. It's cool. You can get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/glitch. Now's the time to step up your watch game so that when someone says, hey, what time is it? You don't have to say, time to get a watch, because you've already got one. Go to mvmt.com/glitch.
Nice.
Nice.
That's quite musical.
lovely.
Actually, I didn't.
Can you do is that the right kind of
You have
glass?
to have liquid in there, though.
It also has to be crystal. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
I don't know how this works.
This is not.
I'm not classy enough to know the difference between glass and crystal, but that's fine.
It makes a different ding.
Yeah, it's got harmonics.
That's glass.
We need some crystal glasses.
Yeah, I'll work on that. Maybe we can.
What's the budget for our crystal on this show?
Maybe we'll get some with our E3 money, because you guys, E3 is less than 2 weeks away. Let's talk about it. Yes, I'm so excited.
It's like a week and a half away. It's so soon.
I know.
The
I'm trying not to think about it too much. So we're doing E3 again. If you caught the live stream that we did from the show floor last year.
The last 2 years.
Well, yes. So we did it. We did our own sort of show last year. The year before that, we were on YouTube's stage. The last 2 years we've partnered with YouTube, but we essentially produce the entire show. So we call all our shots and stuff. This year we're doing it again, except I hate myself. We all hate ourselves. So instead of doing just a 3-day stream, we're actually doing all of the press conferences this year too. So there's going to be a low-key stream on Saturday, and then we're going to be doing big long streams on Sunday and Monday covering those press conferences starting early on Tuesday because Nintendo decided to go super early that day.
I love waking up early.
Yeah.
Time.
It starts like 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, God, no, fuck. I'm just finding this out. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep in that day.
It's gonna be rough, but it's gonna be a rough. By rough, I mean really fun. And then we're streaming all day Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So in addition to the press conferences, we actually have space at the LA Convention Center where E3 is, and so we've got more than 40 different developers and games coming on the stream to show everything. So we're actually gonna be bringing E3 to you guys, which means that your feet will hurt less than having to go to the show. It costs way less than going to the show because it doesn't cost anything. And you actually will be able to hear directly from developers about their games, which I think is really cool. I'm super excited about it, even though I'm currently like stress level max. But it's going to be a really good time. We'll have details on the specific schedule. I published a journal on the Rooster Teeth website with the start times for each of the different days. I specifically didn't share it with Gus because I knew that.
I'm reading it right now. I'm looking at it now.
it's-
It's at roosterteeth.com/Ashley.
Yeah, that's right. So
Sunday's great.
I haven't,
It's
haven't seen that either.
we have overall. It's going to be. We're doing 6 press conferences where it's going to be stretched across 6 days. There are currently 44 game demos and interviews that we've got on the schedule. I'm never coming back to work after this event. I will be on vacation forever to recover. But it's we got 30. I think it's like 37 and a half hours of live stream.
That's
planned.
a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours. So many hours. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. I love E3. E3 is like Christmas because you get to open all the presents and you're not disappointed by anything yet.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, and it's like the first E3 I ever went to was in 2001, which makes me feel old as fuck.
Do you want to know how old I was in 2001?
How old were you in 2001?
11.
Oh my God.
I was at E3. I was getting drunk on the E3 floor in 2001.
Yeah.
That year they showed off Warcraft 3 and the cinematic trailer for Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty, and those were like the big things that year.
Man, I think
Sons of Liberty, man.
my first E3 was 2001 or 2002, and it was insane. I faked my credentials. It was awesome.
I did too.
Everyone.
I basically made a website that I wrote news on that nobody ever went to.
I did too.
And I submitted that in order to get a press badge for it. So you can too.
And this year you don't have to, though, right? Didn't they open it back up to the?
They sold out.
They
though.
did. They
Okay.
opened it up to the public for. The thing is, I think they've sold public passes before, but sort of not in the same way. Not just go ahead and buy one. You had to jump through extra hoops. So this year they did open it up to the public, but all of that's completely sold out. So if you didn't have a pass, that's okay because, like I said, we'll
You can just
bring
watch
you
it from
E3.
the comfort of your home.
I wonder what's their anticipated attendance this year, because last year was pretty
It's
insane.
It is weird because there are also publishers that are leaving the show floor. EA, for example, is they didn't have a booth last year. They're not doing a booth this year because they do EA Play, which kicks off the weekend before E3, and then they'll still be around the event doing like press appearances and stuff with media, but they don't have a booth for people to go and check it out specifically.
I will say E3 announced that they sold 15,000 tickets to the public. That's not even
Jeez.
counting industry. It's
Oh,
15,000
my God.
public
Last year
people
was crazy with
at
industry.
$250 each.
God damn.
I mean,
Man.
So imagine last year and then add 15,000 people.
No offense, I can't imagine going to E3 as a regular, even as like trying to see stuff at E3 is fucking hard.
It's difficult.
You have to schedule stuff, and as
And
a
if you can't schedule
Can't
stuff, then
schedule,
you end
like-
up in these lines. Like you could end up seeing 2 games all day.
yeah, or if that, yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah,
but
like last year, the Nintendo area.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
because there's Breath of the Wild.
It was a crazy line.
It-
yeah.
it would be like last year, Nintendo brought essentially 1 game. I mean, they
Yeah.
you know, a couple of
So
other
which
smaller
really
stuff too,
begs
but it
the
was
question.
mostly
What are they bringing this year?
well,
Mario.
Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2.
Spl-
Well, yes,
It comes out right after that.
yeah, it'd be
But-
weird to bring
they
up
had
a-
a
but
giant-
Comes out in July.
Nintendo also brings
Right after.
games that are already out. to E3.
I mean, it was a temple to Breath of the Wild last year.
Dude, it was so cool. It was a
shit.
castle, and it had like they built a sky in. It had a day-night cycle.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. You know, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony all still have booths. Ubisoft's got their booth, Activision. So most of them are still there. EA is really like the one that's decided to strike out on their own and go with the public EA Play event. But otherwise, it's going to be a lot of fun. What do you think we're going to see there?
So I'm a little shocked at. I feel like we're already starting to see leaks about potential E3 announcements and leaks that the dates don't make sense to me. Like just this morning, there was the leak about the gold PS4 that's going to be sold with the rumored on-sale date of June 9th, which would
Be the day before
E3.
E3.
yeah, be
Like,
right before, even before the Sony conference, and it was priced at a $249 price point.
that is a bit weird. It seems like if I were to be skeptical of the gold PS4 for any reason, it's because I have trouble imagining that they would release it.
Well, I will say the gold DualShock 4 controller, you can buy it right now on the Best Buy website.
Wasn't that
Like,
wasn't that PS4 Pro though?
Pre-order or ship?
No, it was no shippable. I'll double check that.
The gold
And
one-
it was a
the gold
normal
one is a
PS4.
slim, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
slim.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Why? It just none of that makes sense to me.
Well,
sometimes people like
I
cool
loved,
consoles, but
I loved what PlayStation did though with the anniversary PlayStation 4.
with the white ones.
Yeah, like the light gray, like sort of like retro feeling PS4.
Still want
like
one of
that
those
was
controllers,
really
man.
that I never got.
Yeah.
I was at that PSX and fucking get one.
Wasn't on your
so-
seat.
No.
Yeah, I am curious. Sony is probably the one that I'm the most curious about. With Microsoft, at least we know Scorpio is going to be there. If I have my wish, which is like I want Microsoft to like come hard for this event. I want them to this event.
You rattled her.
It was
No,
a self-rattle.
I want them to, so they're going to be showing Scorpio for the first time, like in all its glory, date, price, all that detail.
You want to see a strong performance from them. You want them to deliver on the promises.
I want them also to be like, here are 3 new exclusives that we haven't told you about. They're also, by the way, launching this date.
Yeah. Are these also going to be Play Anywhere titles? So you don't have to play your Xbox.
It
Gold PS4.
get it by June 3rd.
Okay.
That's
So
bizarre.
that's-
Gold
In 2
PS4
days.
controller
Yeah.
is shipping.
Apparently,
Okay.
a Walmart shopper found one in the wild.
Yeah, they found. They said they couldn't check out with it because when the cashier tried to, they found the gold PS4. They said that
Oh.
they
The
took
actual
it.
PS4.
They took it to the register, and when they scanned at the register, it didn't work. It wasn't like the inventory
were like,
system didn't
"Uh-oh."
work. So the employees took it away because I guess that's when they realized it shouldn't have been out.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's how they know that it's $249 is because it was
was
out
priced.
on the shelf. It was priced.
It's always Walmart.
There was a Bloodborne leak yesterday. I don't know if it was like an actual leak, but it was it was a picture of the start menu of Bloodborne, and it said like early development, whatever, in the top left, and then the bottom it said Sony Computer Entertainment of America or Sony Entertainment of America, but they changed that name to SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Oh, right.
So that's the speculation of why it's fake. But I could totally see a Bloodborne. They're done with Dark Souls 3 now, or Dark Souls now, and I would like something new from them. Bloodborne is sort of similar to Dark Souls in a lot of ways.
I mean, plus they've also said like they've got a couple of projects in the work. We should
Right.
be seeing one from them this year at the very least.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense.
Bloodborne would be the least surprising announcement from Software, but that game needs a whole lot of changes to.
I'm always hesitant to talk about like things that I'm excited for at E3 because inevitably the things I end up being most excited for are things I didn't expect.
Totally.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
well, this looks cool. Like Horizon Zero Dawn is a good
Yeah.
example of that. It's like a new IP. You're like, oh, that looks fucking awesome. I can't wait to play that.
I'm actually on the hunt for something at E3 that I don't know if I'll find it. I haven't really done any research on whether it'll be there. But aside from games, there's also the other E's occasionally show up. You know, there's some electronics and things.
The other E's.
Yeah. I want to find a wireless Vive adapter.
Yeah.
I want to see
Yeah.
one of those in the wild.
Yeah.
Because they were taking them around.
Yeah.
There was all that talk about, okay, TPCast was selling one in China only, which I assume means that they couldn't get it pushed through the wireless
FCC,
certified
yeah,
here in
approvals.
the U.S. Yeah, or hopefully they're working on that. But supposedly, I guess they started shipping them late April. I don't know.
I've
you
not
can't get them
seen,
over
yeah,
here.
you can't get them.
I want to see one. I want to try it out. I want to wear it. They've already talked about Intel's going to put the chipsets in it, or is going to be doing the wireless, which hopefully means that they can bring it into this country because Intel's already got their wireless technology approved.
I'm very curious about VR in general for this
Yeah.
E3. We're not hearing a lot. I think Oculus is skipping.
That doesn't surprise me.
I could shut down their games division, right?
PlayStation's been a little bit quiet
They need
on the VR front.
They
for
need
a
a
couple
second
of
round.
months,
I mean,
but
Farpoint just came out, so they need like their next iteration.
We're a year out.
Bridge Crew just came out.
Right.
As well.
We're a year out from when or a little over a year out from when the Vive launched and the Oculus launched, and now we're starting to get real games like Bridge Crew, which seems fucking awesome.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Not a lot of replayability once you get it all sorted out.
Really?
Reportedly.
What, Bridge Crew?
Yeah.
It's got
They're like
a
one,
whole,
like once everyone
random mission generator.
But like once everyone knows their roles, it gets a little bit like the
There's
part
not
of the
an
fun is
advanced
the
mode.
chaos. Yeah, like the chaos fun
Sure.
element goes away, and then it's just execute the mission.
It's
but
like
yeah,
raiding in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Kind of.
You got it on farm.
I will say that the one detractor about the game is that each position feels like it could have been more robust.
Okay.
Like you could have had more things to do at each individual station. So I think probably the main replayability there is rotating to a different position and having to start all over.
You know what I would like is a Space Team Bridge Crew mashup, where everyone has to be in a room together. Okay, so you're all sitting in a room with your headsets on, so you can't, you see each other like as if you're in the game, but you can at least hear each other.
Yeah.
And you'll get commands like, your console will come up being like, the Beard Sphere needs deployment. You don't have the Beard Sphere. Someone else has the Beard Sphere, and so you have to shout at them to deploy it. I feel like Space Team needs to move into VR stat, and it'll be absolutely ridiculous.
They kind of have that in the sense that the captain gets a lot of information and needs to be like relaying it to the people. It's like, scan that thing, fly over there, and put the shields up because we're about to get shot.
But part of the fun chaos is the decentralized shouting commands from absolutely everywhere.
Right. Everyone, trying to coordinate.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we'll see something from VR. Like we have to see something from. If we don't see something like big VR announcement.
Well, I think Sony needs to really double down and show how they're going to continue their support of PSVR. Because PSVR has been a relatively smooth launch with good adoption, but they need more titles.
They
I feel like
off of it so hard.
Yeah, they had
did,
a lot of stuff initially. Then everyone was looking forward to Farpoint, which just came out, and now it's like, okay.
And I feel like Farpoint actually released reasonably quietly.
Yes.
It did, yeah. I mean, PC for Vive, we're starting to see more games that weren't necessarily developed specifically for VR, but that are getting support now, like Abduction, which is that like Myst-style game.
Abduction.
Right.
Right.
Everspace, which is like a fast-paced rogue-like spaceship game. Like we're starting to see more and more Vive support in general, and the games that come out for it now seem more polished. So I'm hoping that see some bigger developer be like, hey, here's our big game. It's Vive compatible. Or something.
Oculus did announce that they've dropped out of E3.
Who did?
Oculus.
Yeah.
They announced they're going to drop. They've officially dropped out of E3, but Bethesda did say that a Fallout 4 VR demo will be playable.
Yeah, they had a Fallout 4 VR and Doom VR last year, but it was like one station for each.
And Doom VR you'll never see again. That's never coming to the public. They said.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't
It
hear
was
that.
a tech demo more than anything, probably. Yes, I think VR is going to be important this year, and that's all very quiet. But PlayStation will come hard, and I want to see Vive announce a wireless headset.
Well, they've announced it. They just don't have it.
I want to see them.
Not the country.
Sorry, I want to see them bring it.
Yeah.
I want to see it in action.
You heard it. Bring it.
Bring it.
Bring it.
I want to see that from Bethesda. God, what do I want to see from Bethesda?
I think
I know
we're
my
gonna
pie
see
in the sky
so
would be Elder Scrolls, but
everyone's
we're not gonna see it.
speculating at their invite, right? Like the invite had different titles, and it had 2 under construction areas. So it makes me wonder if we're going to see a new IP because all of the existing IP was represented.
Was it?
In that art.
We're too soon for an Elder Scrolls game. Though.
We're not too soon.
We're not. No.
We're a
the
year
last
and a half
one
off
came out.
we're a year and a half off of Fallout, and they come out like 4 years apart.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it as you look at the distance between Elder Scrolls titles as opposed to looking specifically at the distance between Elder Scrolls Fallout staggering, then Elder Scrolls we should be due reasonably soon, like next year.
There's like 7-8 years between, right?
But they've also said that they're not even going to announce it. They want a Fallout for it.
Yeah.
Where they can announce
works for them.
Where they can announce it basically once they feel it's ready for launch.
Do we get a little stand-in phone app to lead into?
I want that.
You know what? I'll take it.
I started playing Fallout Shelter again. It's still good.
I was skeptical about that. Like a mobile game? Are you fucking serious? I spent so much time playing
fucking
Fallout
love that
Shelter,
thing.
and then it translated to PC so well.
It really did, yeah.
Except it doesn't work on my Xbox One. Anytime I try to launch it, it gives an error.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. I have no idea what the fuck. I uninstalled it. I reinstalled it. It's broken. I don't know. It's like error, cannot launch application.
So I had a super weird Xbox One like hardware, firmware, something glitch happened over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I was trying to play Rime. I downloaded it, went to play it, and it kept saying, download might be corrupt, can't do it, delete it, try re-downloading it. So I did like 3 times, didn't work, and so I looked on the internet, and someone said try unplugging the Xbox from the wall, basically, you know, a full shut-off, power reset, everything. So I unplugged it, left it for a couple minutes, plugged it in. Error comes up saying, yeah, we can't start your Xbox. Do you want to restart it? Do you want to turn it off? Do you want to troubleshoot? I had to do a hard reset, like a factory reset on the console, which I was so furious. But I have to give Microsoft some credit here. Sucks that I had to do that.
Yeah.
Not cool, bro. But there was an option to reset it, but keep all the downloaded games intact.
Oh,
so
okay.
I had to
reset your OS, but keep your
yes.
Yeah. Right, okay.
So I had to I had to re-add my my gamer tag on it, and I don't care about the saves because everything is cloud saved now. Thank God.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
That I know of. And so I had to redo all of that stuff, but then the games were there already.
That's good.
Fantastic. Anyway, small aside.
Yeah.
Small aside. But enough about me.
But yeah, I think maybe the thing that we know of that I'm most excited about to see at E3 is more details on Scorpio. I'm sick to death of talking about 6 teraflops. I want to know what the fuck is this thing actually going to do?
I want to know what it's going to look like.
Bring it.
I want to know what it's going to cost. I want to know what the release date is.
I bet it's going to be ridiculously expensive. I think we taught Microsoft a bad lesson when everyone loved the Elite controller. I think they learned there is a premium console gaming market.
Yeah, $650.
Demand exceeded their expectations for the Elite controller, and I think now they're like, oh, we can make stuff that's really expensive.
I mean, but for a controller, that's one thing, because that's the thing that you're touching and interacting with all the time. The controller really, really, really matters. People are going to invest in that thing that they have their hands on always.
They're going to invest in the thing that's drawing pretty colors for their eyes.
Yeah, okay.
Feed your eyeballs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think we're going to get sticker shock. I think it's going to be like $600.
That's
No,
what the PS3 launched
if
at,
it's
right?
600, I would be. I would be okay with 600 for what it is.
PS3.
600 is what I'm expecting, because that was the launch price for the PS3. So while it was on the high end and the PS3 got a lot of shit for it, it's not unprecedented anymore.
I'm going to go 700.
Okay.
I think
I'm
going to
go 701.
701. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Price is Right rules. If you go over, does it not count? Yeah. So I think I'm just curious to learn more about it and see where that's going.
$699. That's where it'll be. Because they never do even numbers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What would you want Microsoft to announce? Like you have your.
I want to see them bring back and talk about Crackdown. They announced that they're doing it, and they just fucking disappeared. It's been years. What the fuck is going on with Crackdown? I loved Crackdown 1. I hated Crackdown 2. So we'll see.
It makes me feel like
your hype still going for that game?
It makes me wonder if they had to scrap a lot of the work they did and go back to square one.
Well,
or
like
square
all
two.
that
a lot of
cloud computing,
the cloud computing stuff, like you never hear about that anymore.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But I feel like I feel like we'll definitely see something about Crackdown. I would like to see them announce 1 to 2 new IPs, like good, strong, promising new IPs. And I'd like to see them bring back, I mean, I'm not going to be in the majority here, but I'd like to see another proper Fable game.
Well, Lionhead's gone, right?
Lionhead is gone, but I would like to see, at the very least, like a nice, cheeky motherfucking Western RPG coming from them.
I need a new Western. I need fantasy RPG so bad.
Just play McCree and Overwatch.
I need something.
But I like what I liked about Fable was how cheeky it was.
Yeah.
It's like it was for me, I liked Fable for the same reasons that I really liked Overlord. Was there's just a specific weird sense of humor about it that I dig.
On the Sony side of things, I'm really curious to know more about this gold PS4, because I think that's going to affect my expectations for their presser. Because if they do a price drop ahead of the presser, it means that they've got even bigger announcements.
They got a new console
at E3,
coming.
right? There's something crazy. If they price drop and do new console before they do their conference, that means that their conference is going to be fucking crazy.
What do you call, so like let's say they've got another hardware iteration coming, but they've already got the PS4 Pro out.
Which has barely been out.
PS5.
PS4 Pro?
PS Premium.
Yeah, there you go.
PS4 best.
I don't know if they need to. I don't think that.
PS4.
They're gonna go full reboot PlayStation.
PS4 Ultra.
No, I don't.
An Xbox One.
I don't think we're going to see it. I think they've got way huge installed base already.
Wait
like
till
they
next
just got to
year,
maintain. They just got to focus on first-party software titles.
They're doing
a double down
listen.
on the Pro before they launch into
Sony
console.
has done a really great job with exclusives and first-party titles, like this whole generation.
Yeah.
Like Horizon, Bloodborne, I don't know.
Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Yeah, I mean, there's been like one after another. Fucking.
Oh, do you think we're
huge
going to see a fucking Last of Us announcement?
Oh,
Last of Us.
shit. I didn't even think about that.
Because Last of Us 2's been confirmed.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll see it.
I'm gonna try.
If not gameplay, then at the very least a trailer.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a trailer.
What do you want to see from Nintendo?
Oh, real fast.
What's
Sorry to sidetrack. I just got informed by Ben.
Look at this.
Rhyme's DRM has been cracked.
All right.
Great,
So
it's gone.
So-
This podcast better
Now
be
it's
gone.
playable for everybody.
this time next week, we should be able to find out if the performance has improved for everybody or if that was just a silly excuse.
The guy that cracked it came out and said that it's highly recommended to play a DRM free because it highly improves the performance. Of the game.
Really?
Interesting.
That is a bad thing to do. Is to punish the people that actually pay for your
Purchase it.
games by giving them a shitty experience.
So you're
But
going to ask
Nintendo.
about Nintendo. I really have no expectations for them. I have like I feel like the Switch, as much as I love it, it's still a wasteland.
They're going
So
to
it's
announce
like-
the Switch 2 XL
If-
R.
If anything they announce is going to be upside. Like I'm already expecting Mario, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
because they've talked about that. I'm sure they're going to do more Splatoon 2 details. They're probably going to outline their subscription online service and fully flesh out what's entailed with that. Anything else is gravy for me.
I don't
Okay.
think that they're going to blow any more of their like big IPs this year because they've done Mario Kart, they've done Zelda, they're doing Mario
True.
Odyssey,
But
they're doing Splatoon, they're doing a new IP. Like,
They're going to announce Metroid, and it's going to come out in March.
no, it's not.
I mean, E3.
Like, they're not going to announce that this soon.
They're like Nintendo was really good last year about all the things that they announced and were talking about came out within the year.
Yeah.
So they came out before this E3, or by about this time.
Because they were struggling with that fucking Wii U.
Well, yes. But that means my hope is anything they announce this E3 would then come out before next E3. So pie in the sky, totally unrealistic, like realism, whatever. I want Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
I want Metroid.
But wait, didn't they announce they're doing that Animal Crossing mobile game?
Right. But here's the thing is actually their mobile strategy is what gives me ideas on what to anticipate for the Switch because we think that Mario Odyssey was delayed from a launch title or early life cycle title to holiday because initially signs pointed it to it being a launch title or something. A lot of the early marketing materials that they were creating had Mario on it. And then that sort of shifted away and they focused on Zelda. And then suddenly Mario Odyssey holiday. So but they built Super Mario Run to re-energize people and be like, hey guys, remember Mario? Mario's really cool. You want to play with Mario? Get the Switch.
Didn't that was not terribly well received?
No, but they were trying. Like,
I think
but so it
weren't
makes
happy
me look
with
at
the
their
product.
strategy.
I think
There was a fire.
financially it underperformed.
Okay.
It did.
I think-
Yeah, it had a lot of downloads. Not a lot of people converted to the full version.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But so I look at their mobile strategy a lot to see what might be coming for the Switch, like what they're trying to get into people's heads, like the franchises they're trying to re-energize. Like we kind of got there's Fire Emblem. Look, new Fire Emblem game. We're getting an Animal Crossing mobile. Guess what? I'm betting we're gonna get an Animal Crossing announcement. Also, it's time for the Pokemon for Switch.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, if they could announce one game that the IP I know about, it would be Metroid, but probably Pokemon. I'm really stoked for a new Pokemon, but they'd have to change up the formula, man. I really liked Sun and Moon, but like we're just playing the same game over and over and over and over, and I want something new.
And that also didn't stop Sun and Moon from being a record seller.
I know, but we're on a
Yeah, if it's not broke, they're not going to fix
we're
it.
on a home console now. It's something
We're
different.
on a hybrid console now.
Yeah, but it can plug
It
into
can
my
go
TV.
wherever, whenever.
But now we
We're
have
meant to
dual
be
joysticks.
together.
No Shakira.
Yes, Shakira.
She can't make that a good console.
Yes, Shakira. So yeah, I think that's what we're gonna see. Honestly, if we saw Metroid, Animal Crossing, and Pokemon for Switch, I think they'd have their year.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Smash.
Oh, God.
Yeah, also Smash, but we may be waiting longer.
I mean, you're not making me
You know
feel
what? Tell
happy
you what.
for purchasing
Tell you
the
what.
console.
3 out of the 4.
I was sold on the promises of games like Breath of the Wild.
We're gonna see.
I don't see any more of that coming.
We're gonna see a lot of indies. Like there's already like a bunch of indies that have already come to PC that are coming to the Switch, but there's also some new ones. I can't remember any names terribly.
Stardew Valley.
But I'm saying there's new ones that are Switch exclusive or have just been announced that are coming for the Switch, which I'm pretty excited for.
Give me something I can't play anywhere else that I want to play. That's my request, Nintendo.
ARMS.
ARMS.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Splatoon 2.
Splatoon.
I don't care about that.
They're great games, dude. They're great fucking games. ARMS is actually really amazing.
All right.
I don't know much about ARMS.
Well, we'll see. We'll talk probably more E3 stuff on next week's episode because E3 is like a black hole. It's hard not to get pulled into it, especially because we'll be seeing more leaks or fake leaks in the lead up to the event, like the fake Smash Brothers Switch leak. So we'll talk about that more next week. In the meantime, if you are a Rooster Teeth First member, please, by all means, stick around for the post show. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do something kind of fun. Which we want to do. So we did we basically went out to you guys, to the community, for what we should call the Glitch Please post show exclusively for Rooster Teeth First members. And the thing is, you guys had a lot of really good ideas. We don't know what we should call it based on like a couple of our favorite ideas. So we're going to, when this episode is out for First members, launch a poll for you guys. You can vote on what we should call the post show, and then that'll run for like the first 24 hours that this is out, because that's when the post show launches, and we will call the post show what you guys like. So here are the options. We'll put the poll as well, but we've got some that I really liked. New Game Plus, Bonus Level, Kill Screen, Respawn, Minus World, and Hard Reset.
Minus
Can I
World?
say what I like the
You
most?
can say what you like the most.
I like New Game Plus.
I like New Game Plus.
You would.
The thing is, I like all of them. I hear each one of them, and I go,
What about like a hard mode?
hard mode.
Because it comes hard.
Yeah.
But how does it hang?
To the right.
Anyway,
like
so
you know too much about me now.
if you enjoy this
too.
episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you are listening to this on iTunes, please give us a rating on there and let everyone know that you like the show, because that sort of stuff is important for other people being able to find it and also enjoy it. We'll be back next week with another episode. It'll launch a day early for Rooster Teeth First members. If you don't have that, you can get a free month trial. Just sign up at know.roosterteeth.com. And then we will see you next week, glitches.
Missed it.